The Wealth of Nations is a seminal work by Adam Smith, published in 1776. It is one of the first works on modern economics and has been highly influential since its publication. The book is divided into 5 books, each focusing on different aspects of economic theory. The first book examines the division of labor, the role of capital, and the principles of the division of labor. Smith argues that division of labor is best achieved when it is based on what the laborers are most suited for. He also argues that the division of labor should be based on the division of labor in nature, which he calls the natural system of liberty. The second book focuses on the role of capital in economic production. Smith argues that capital is a vital component in economic production, as it allows for the division of labor and the utilization of machines to produce goods. He also argues that capital should be used for investment, rather than consumption, in order to increase the wealth of a nation. In the third book, Smith discusses the role of the state in economic production. He argues that the state should be limited in its role and should not interfere with market forces, as this would lead to inefficient economic outcomes. He also argues that the state should provide public goods, such as education and infrastructure, in order to increase economic productivity. The fourth book examines the role of money in the economy. Smith argues that money should be used as a medium of exchange and not as a store of value. He also argues that money should be used as a measure of value and should not be used as a speculative instrument. The fifth book examines the role of wages and prices in the economy. Smith argues that wages and prices should be determined by the forces of supply and demand, and that wages should be driven by the productivity of labor. He argues that prices should be determined by the costs of production, and that the state should not interfere with the process. In conclusion, The Wealth of Nations is an influential work that laid the foundation for modern economic thought. Smith argues for a limited role of the state in economic production, as well as for a reliance on market forces to determine wages and prices. He also argues for the use of capital for investment rather than consumption, and for money to be used as a medium of exchange and not as a store of value. That's it. Thank you so much for tuning in.